Good evening and welcome to Truth and Justice TV. My name's Dr. Jennifer Obaseki, and today we are going to be talking about digital revolution. Well, not really the digital revolution as such, but how to go about growing your business online. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, today I have a business maestro in the house. My wonderful guest today is Mrs. Mavis Aamankwah.
Hi, Jennifer.
Now, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am perfectly fine, but I'm very, very excited. I'm excited because today, those people out there who've been trying to grow their business online are going to get some wonderful nuggets and access to some wonderful help. So first of all, for those people out there who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I know we're about to talk about the digital revolution. I've not seen you for a long time because I've been seeing you virtually.
Of course.
It's all about digital. So thank you for having me. My name's Mavis Aamankwah, and I'm an award-winning entrepreneur. I've been, in the community for over 21 years. I've done quite a lot in terms of business support, business solutions, helping people with their marketing. And most importantly, in 2021, it's about being fully loaded to go digital, fully.
It's all about the e-commerce.
E-commerce, everything. Everything is about E. Everything has to have an E, or virtual.
Okay, so right now, if you do not have an online presence, that once somebody puts your name or your brand name right into Google and doesn't have something that comes up with you within the first 5 options, then you actually need help to get that presence. That's number 1. But number 2, if you have nothing online, then you're going to die like the dinosaurs. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I don't mean that to be, in any way bitter. But the truth is, you must have that online presence. But there are people out there, Mavis, that still feel that it is a big hurdle, either because they don't have money, or either because they're technically not aware what they should be doing, or for some people, especially like me, information overload. Yeah. So how would you advise someone to really pick this important step online apart and go about things in the right way?
I mean, I think what we need to realise, like for someone like myself and yourself, we're from a different era. We're from a different generation. For our generation, we had to learn computers, we had to learn technology and start using it. Mm-hmm. Whereas we have the younger generation that they've been born into it and they know how to do it. My friend the other day, his 1-year-old son went up to the TV and he used his finger and he swiped it. He knew what to do. And you see these little young, children on the laptops, the tablets, and they all know what to do. But I think from a business perspective, we have to be with the times. It's like we have to go with the fashion. And what I'm seeing, especially with a lot of ethnic minority businesses, is that they are not really ready for online. You need to be ready to go online. Everything we do nowadays is online, Jennifer. Look, without your phone, you can't move.
It's like my umbilical cord to the world.
Exactly. That's the right word, umbilical cord to the world. So when we look at technology on an everyday, from a personal perspective, from a business perspective, we have to get with the times.
Okay, but people don't know what to do. They think that they've got their Facebook, they do the Facebook shop. They've got their Insta, they've got the Instagram shop. And then, you've got some web designer that comes and says, you need funnels, you need this app, you need that app, you need Hootsuite, you need Kartra, you need
Hopper, you need Vumli.
You need Vumli. So what does that person do that says, I'm aware I must have a presence, but must I have all of it? Where do I start?
I think the first thing that we need to do is, obviously we need to embrace technology the best way we can, and the first thing is to be having a smartphone. When you've got a smartphone, obviously when you have a smartphone, that's going to help you to be able to get your business online.
Yes.
First of all, website. A lot of businesses nowadays, websites are very dated, sorry to say. We have to come with the 21st century.
Get with the times.
So we need to have a good, working, simple website, that works, that people can go on there and get some information about who you are and what you do. And guess what? Wait. Mm-hmm. Live chats. This is a new one, live chats. When you go onto someone's website now, have you noticed with some websites, as you're on there, it says, hello, how are you? it's very important that all businesses go for live chats, because when someone goes onto your website and you're sitting on the other end and you can live chat to them, you can answer their query very quickly. This is very easy to do. It's a very simple piece of software that you would use. As soon as someone comes into your website, you can
So
go
these
for
are
live
like
chats.
plugins and applications that you can pay as an extension to your website. And do you know what the good thing is? Even if you're too busy to answer the chats, you can have some pro-formed messages that actually go in reply. And the other thing that people don't seem to realise is if you put the answer to the question on the website, the cart for payment on the website, you're easily making a sale without any other interaction
Yes,
going
that's
on.
what we need.
So you mustn't put barriers in front of your ability to make sales. And if your website is able to facilitate what that person wants, any questions they may ask, and to take the payment, then Bob's your uncle. I was going to say Fanny's your aunt, and then you can make your sale. And not only that, you take a level of control. You're not passing, you're not delegating, you're giving a front window shop to your services or your goods.
Exactly.
So please do have a second look at your website. Think about these 3 key things that we've said, which is information, answering questions, getting payment, and the chatbot, if you can get that on there. And then, well, you've got your ability to make your sales directly. The aesthetic of the websites. I know that people might see me with my lip gloss on right now, but I don't have an aesthetic eye. I don't know what looks good. Sincerely, I'm not very, into trendy and all that. I'm a bit of a tomboy.
This is an interesting
I don't really know what the attractive, how to attract people
Let me tell
on the website.
Let me tell you the attraction.
Tell me.
Just get a 24-year-old. They will bring you aesthetics. This is what we need to do.
They'll bring you what
I work
people
with
look
a lot
at and are
of young
attracted to.
people, and they are very good at aesthetics. They can make one picture look amazing. And I could make the same picture not look good. So the aesthetics is very important. And if you don't have that eye, that's absolutely fine, because most people don't, especially people our age, because we've got our way about how we've been doing our thing. But how we need to look at that is we need to look at aesthetics, because people do look at that. When you go onto Instagram now, if something doesn't look good, you're
going to the next thing.
Sorry to say, it is sad what's happening, but people do buy on looks and they buy on aesthetics. So when it comes to competition now, maybe you've got 3 competitors and, your client doesn't know which one to choose, and your aesthetics could actually make them choose you
over the others. It's all about attraction, and it's all about answering questions quickly.
Imagery.
And good imagery.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little break. Then when we come back, we're going to be talking about other applications that might save you time and money. So see you in just a moment. So we're going to talk about some of the applications. Welcome back. Now today, as I've said, I've got the award-winning Mavis Aamankwah with me as my guest, and we're talking to you about how to make sure you not just grow your business online, but you are successful in managing that online presence and growing your e-commerce masterpiece. So we spoke about websites and why it must have the proper things on it. It must have a good aesthetic, why it must be able to answer questions and have proper payment facilities there. But Mavis, we talked briefly about the plugins and level of automation we can have with the chatbot, but what other levels of automation are people missing out on and not realizing they could actually just get and integrate into their website or into their payment cart and really help attract more customers?
Well, the thing is, nowadays websites are built to take on all of these extra add-ons and plugins. So whoever's doing your website designer needs to be up to speed, because a lot of the transactions, payments, processes, systems, automations, they all come as a package nowadays. When you are getting your website built. So once you've got your website built, all of those come with them. So you don't really need to know everything, but you need to make sure that your website designer does all the things or understands what you want. Once they understand what you want, then all those extras will be part of the new website. What I would say is that a lot of people are trying to have their website and add add-ons. It doesn't work like that. People need to start fresh.
Okay.
With a new website that is more modern, that has all the right plugins and softwares and add-ons as it comes, and not the other way where you're trying to kind of put things in. All right, yes, we're going to add that. No, that doesn't happen anymore.
Oh dear. The other thing is, there's something that you said that I have to grab and take 2 steps back on: choosing the right web designer. Now, I've had my experiences with Fiverr and all these other ones that are out there. I could name quite a few. How do you go about getting a good web designer?
I think with the web designers, depending on what industry and sector that you're in, just like everybody else, it's word of mouth, recommendation. If I say to you, Jennifer, do you know a good web designer? And you would recommend them to me, at least if anything goes wrong, I can come back to you. So I'd say the first thing is make sure that you get a web designer that you know, reputable. Look at their reviews online. Ask to see their work, you know, what work they've done.
For their portfolio.
Their portfolio is important. What have they done? Is it relatable to what you're trying to achieve? You know, what kind of reviews they've had. You know, the thing is, we've got all these things, trust pilots, and so many reviews now that people can go and actually Google and have a look. So I think you need to basically find out about the portfolio, how good they are, the work they've done, the charges, because I think sometimes people want to pay cheap and they want to all singing, all dancing
you
website.
Want glitz and glam, but you're not ready to pay a pound.
You're not going to get that.
You're not going to get that. The other thing is, with skilled web designers, they're not cheap.
No.
And making sure that they are up to par, making sure they've got a level of insurance, making sure they've got the right qualifications and experience. There's no point you going to a web designer who's only knows old code and old programming when your website needs current code and up-to-date programming. There is no point in that. And then the other thing is making sure you have proper terms and conditions,
the contract,
so that you can go back and have revisions. Some web designers might hear you when you say you want to change this and that, but when you say, oh, no, I want to change this and I want to change that, they'll be like, hold on a minute, there's a new fee for this. So understand how many revisions and changes you'll be allowed under your contract with that particular person.
Correct, yeah. The revisions are important, and understanding that at the end of the day, payment, because with some some people, they want to take money up front. I don't agree with that. I think the most someone should take who's design a website is 50%.
Half of it, and then half on completion.
If on completion, if you are happy, you know, but being happy is very big and very broad. But as you said, making sure how many changes can I have, how many edits, you know, what can I, because there's some people that they want to change everything after the designers spent so much time on it. So that's why it's good to always get a copy or something that looks similar to what you're trying to achieve.
Show them examples. Exactly. And then at the same time, when you finish the contract, throw in 3 months support in managing the website, because it's like somebody giving you a brand new baby. It's going to take you time to learn how to get into a routine and managing it.
Exactly.
You know?
Feeding the
and
baby
that is something,
else,
that baby is the one that's making you money, honey. So you better make sure that you really do understand how it works. So making sure you have a level of support once that project's been handed over to you. Make sure you can incorporate a level of training, 2 training days, or even 3 training days, so that you're not saying, look, this is not working, you didn't show me, etc, etc, etc. So your terms and conditions with your web designer, choosing the right web developer, number 1 in this whole going online and getting yourself digital. Now we're going to take another very short break, but when we come back, we've spoken a bit about automation. We're going to be talking about other things that you really must take into consideration, such as your own legal obligations when dealing with a website. What happens when your clients don't like what you're selling? What happens when they say it's not fit for purpose or not up to description? And what happens when it says, well, it says you've got your qualifications on there are not really what you have. You've said that you're, you know, a childminder, but you don't even have the qualifications. So let us have another talk after this short break about your obligations. See you in a moment. staying with us. Now we're talking everything tech, everything online right now. So we've been discussing what you need, how to get your website sorted, number one, getting your developer, number two, thinking about the plugins you need, thinking about the terms and conditions you must have, thinking about asking for levels of support, having revisions, changes, number of changes incorporated into your contract with your developer, your web developer. But we also need to speak about your own obligations, supplying accurate information. Can I ask, Mavis, what are some of the common mistakes you see people make when they're trying to portray their business or services online?
I see a lot of them promising they're going to get this, and show them a fantastic picture and image of what they're going to get, and then the end result is not there.
So manage talking tough but not delivering, or talking up and then really not being able to deliver.
I think that's really important. I also think as well, people don't look at the legal side, as you said. So on your website, make sure you've got your terms and conditions clearly, your copyright, all your information, your contact details. And with your contracts as well, a lot of people just go and just take anything from the website, or they just copy someone else's and saying, oh, that's it. I think that's where I see lots of mistakes as well. And then when the problems come, they can't actually, cover themselves. And insurance as well. I think a lot of people are not covering themselves on some of the insurance. Things do go wrong with clients.
Absolutely.
So how do they cover those
You've got to think about things. Who's your carrier? Who does your distribution? If something gets destroyed in transit, who's responsible? You or the person doing the delivery? Return policy. What is your return policy? What is your refund policy? How many days do people have to make their refunds? When does the contract actually take place? Does it take place on payment? Does it take place on delivery? You've got to really think about these things. And again, rather than copy and paste, remember that what's been tailored for one business will not automatically suit yours. And it's always best, especially if there's liability obligations, speak to a lawyer about refining your terms and conditions. You might not say, you might say that you can't afford a lawyer, but number one, the cost that it will have on you should you be sued for being in breach of any kind of consumer legislation will be much more than you would have spent at the initial consultation with a lawyer or the initial drafting with a lawyer. Having a package of terms and conditions is not that expensive, number one. And number two, if you read ahead and outline through some of the online legal services that are out there, such as Law Depot, Rocket Lawyer, you might be able to draft things yourself and then just get a lawyer to check them over for you, making sure that you are fully compliant in line with the services or goods that you're trying to render through digitally.
That's your part.
That's my part, and we're fantastic at it. Watching the transition during the pandemic for some of our customers was just amazing, helping them to make sure they continue to provide services, showing them that it is not rocket science.
No, it's not.
It might not be your forte, the digital side of things, and making sure that you have things in the right browser with the right host, etc. Those things can be quite technical for people, especially like me, but it is not rocket science. Even GoDaddy have service packages, and IONUS, all these hosts, user friendly. You can sit down and call them and say, look, I'm trying to put my business online, and they'll be able to talk you through how they can help you develop your website and help you with terms and conditions. They actually have hosting, development service packages that can help you if you don't want to go outside of those known names. But if you want to go outside those known names, we've discussed how you can select a proper web designer, think about the terms that you will have with them to make sure that you get what you want, and that is good business growth and continuity online.
Yes.
Some other mistakes people make, maybe you want to highlight that for people. We've talked about the automation with some of the plugins, but when you're delegating to members of staff, if they've not been trained,
yes, you're in for a big fall.
You're in for a very big fall.
And nowadays, remember before people pick up a phone and complain? They don't do that no more. They just go straight onto social media, onto your website, your Trustpilot, wherever they can get an opportunity to say, I am very disappointed, and some people do exaggerate the story, and some people, you know, really want to get you in trouble. And I think sometimes when it goes onto the internet, especially Google, you can't take it back.
You have to make representations. And what do you do if somebody has put bad review on your business or your service out there? What can you try to do to rebuild your reputation?
Yeah, one of the things that we need to do, and this is even before you even start, we need to build our reputation from now.
From the get-go.
From the get-go. So if you've got 50 people who are happy and you've got 2 who said I wasn't, you can balance it out. So you need to basically start getting testimonies and all of these stories, success stories early. Put them on your website. Let people see the videos. Let people, you know, go into Trustpilot, get reviews. And, you know, the more you have on there,
and positive.
Because remember, it
Show
takes just
your
one
positive,
person to spoil everything.
Yeah.
You know, but if people can see that, yeah, okay, that was a mistake that they made, but really normally they're very, you know, good, then that can help to compensate where you do have these people that will go on. They will destroy you. You can't take it off the internet. You can't take it off Google once it's out there. And it depends, because if it's a troll, it's a different story.
Trolls exist, believe me. There are some people who their life's existence is to try and make you unhappy and try and pull you down. So try not to let those types of people get to you. And not only that, but if they're continually trolling you, it can be a form of harassment. So if you build up your evidence, make the reports, and then you come and see a good lawyer like me that gets an injunction.
Help them out. But one thing I would say though is that it's very important that if someone has put a complaint, try and get in touch with them. I remember I complained about a company many years ago, and they actually messaged me and said, would you take this off Trustpilot if we were to offer you, you know, apologise and offer you XYZ? And I said yes. You know, because I wanted them so...
At the end of the day, it might be that sense of realisation for yourself and your business that actually we're not up to par. Actually, that should not have happened.
Yeah.
So it is good to engage your customers who have complained.
Yes.
It's all about you improving your service at the end of the day. And if you do rectify the complaint, you can ask them to put up there that you've rectified it as well.
Exactly.
So that's
happy
very
customer.
important. A happy customer. And not only that, the customer should... in normal terms is always right. That's one of the policies I try to put in my office. But at the same time, we have to try and manage our clients' expectations as well. So, Mavis, now that the doors have started to open up again, hopefully this new variant will be kept at bay and we will all get our jabs and be back out there in the world making money and be online making money. What help can you give to people who want to have that help for their business and going online, that need just that little bit of, you know, support? Is there support out there for people?
Yes, there is support. There's a lot of government support out there where you can have a young person who knows how to use the technology, can help you with your digital plan. And we've got the Kickstart program, we've got the apprentice program, we've got the trainership program. There are loads of programs there where you can have young people to come and work for you. A lot of them will be skilled in IT. They'll know a lot about social media and digital. They can come and work with you for 6 months. You get paid, the government will pay their wages, and you are basically earning. So, you know, you're earning from it in terms of they're doing all the changes in to do with your website, your social media, going digital, and then at the same time the government will pay you for them as well. So that's for limited companies.
Wow, did you hear that? So if you're a limited company and you are not as technically minded or all on the social media, TikToking, Instagramming and Facebooking, etc., and apping and interprogramming and interlinking, if you're not doing all of that, there are young people that the government will actually have in your place, if you're a limited company, to help you do that. Called the Kickstart. You said Kickstart apprentice. I mean, I've had apprentices before. The Kickstart we know is new in trying to help.
So we're doing loads of that. So if anyone's interested,
how will they get hold of you?
Is my name come up on the screen?
Yes, but how can they get hold of you? Give them your email address.
If you were interested,
website.
if you want to have a free consultation, if you just mention that I was on Jennifer's show today,
Truth and Justice TV, get your free consultation.
Get your free consultation. It'll be a 15-minute consultation to talk about where you are, where you want to go to, and then you can email me, which is business@mavisamankwah.com, or you can call 0749 441 284.
Give them that number again.
07949 441 284.
Now, Mavis, how do I thank you? I'm so happy that
much
you
to
came.
cover. I'll come back
so much to
again.
cover. You must come back again, because what we want to do is tell people that once their website is up and going,
Then it's
how
up.
you will help them to do marketing and promotion. But for today, thank you so much.
for having me.
And I look forward to you coming back again. And for you out there, thank you for staying with us. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you've got your plans for your website and what needs to be added onto it and how you're going to engage your web developer. So again, thank you. And this is Truth and Justice TV, and we'll see you next week. In the meantime, be good, and if you can't be good, be careful.